Welcome to the new My Football Club podcast. Hello and welcome to the new My Football Club podcast. I'm your host, Augustine Sasso. You can email me at augustine.sasso@myfootballclub.co.uk. Well, on this episode, I speak with Jeff Banks, Media Officer of Chester, ahead of our FA Trophy match this Saturday. We talk a little bit about the history, for those who don't know, and also the goings-on today at the club. Some good stuff. And here now is Jeff.
Maybe you want to start a little bit with the history of the original Chester. I think some of my podcast listeners are definitely aware of what happened to Chester. I think definitely the football fans in England are aware, but maybe some of my American listeners not too aware of the long history of the club.
Okay.
So maybe you want to start with a little bit when it was started.
Yeah, sure. Well,
yeah.
First of all, Chester Football Club originated back in 1885. They were born as Chester Rovers, but quickly sort of changed name to Chester Football Club. And there was a good 125 years passed since then, where the club actually changed name to Chester City back in 1983. And it seems to be after that point that the problems seem to start for Chester City. Problems such as losing our old football ground, which was known as Sealand Road, which had been the home to the club for many years. We were then forced to play 45 miles away from the city of Chester for 2 seasons whilst a new ground was eventually built. Following the return to the city, we actually suffered a relegation from the league we were playing in, and then ended up with a few, shall we say, not so great owners of the football club, which eventually took us out of the Football League and into non-league football for the first time in 69 years. That happened in the year 2000, and we had a new chairman coming at that point, named Stephen Vaughan. He did get the club back up into the Football League. Unfortunately, after that happened, it seemed to be a downward spiral with debts mounting, and eventually the football club went back out of the Football League again in 2009. And it was at this point really where we knew that the football club was in trouble. The debts were mounting, getting higher and higher, and the support was starting to wane. People being a bit tired of the way the club was being run by this one owner. And when it came to the football club 2 years ago, it was kicked out of the Football League, and obviously what followed, the club went into a lot of financial problems, ending up in administration. And then in March 2010, it was taken to the High Court of Justice, where the club was wound up for failing to pay unpaid tax bill. So that happened in March 2010. From that point, Chester Football Club was reborn by the supporters. We formed a group called City Fans United, who got together as a supporters trust and sort of tried to recreate the football club. We had a very short time in which to do so, but the day that the former club Chester City went into liquidation is the day that we really truly started as Chester Football Club once again. And obviously it's been a short history so far, but a successful one with a league championship in our first season, and now currently sitting top of the table in the Evo-Stick Premier League, which is 2 leagues below Absolute United as we stand.
Yes. I saw that, and I'm definitely happy and for Chester because it's a great story. Um, so you mentioned the supporters group running the team, and you talked about 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, and also maybe you want to talk a little bit about the crowds and the stadium because as you told me, um, big crowds, and it's all very good.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's a difference between Chester and Ebbsfleet in the fact that, with Ebbsfleet you do have a say in sort of team matters. With Chester, the supporters own the football club, whereas obviously the manager, and the management team sort of decide on their squad and how to take the club forward that way. Our role as supporters is to try and do the jobs outside of that will drive the club forward. We have a lot of volunteers at Chester Football Club. We have people who man the ticket office during the week. We have people in the club shop volunteering their time. And also after the matches, people are clearing up on the terraces and in the stands. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different jobs in their own time for no monetary gain at all. They just want to do their bit for their football club. So it's a very hands-on football club. But yeah, City stands united. We decided to keep the word City in the supporters group title because we were all Chester City fans, but we were all united in wanting to preserve football in Chester. It was a very difficult time to go through in March 2010 when the former club was taken away from us. As I'm sure you know, being an Ebbsfleet fan, I know a few supporters have commented on it, but our final ever game in the conference was actually at home to Ebbsfleet, which beat us 2-1. But it was in front of only 460 supporters in the stadium, which was, I think, the second lowest crowd that had ever been played for a professional football match in Chester. So there's always a hardcore support of around about 2,500, but a lot of those have given up on the club with the way it was being run. But since we've relaunched the club as Chester Football Club, we've got an average gate of 2,500. So, it's amazing that since that day when we played Ebbsfleet, the core support has actually returned, and the best thing about it is that there's so many children inside the football ground wearing Chester tops when in our area we have to sort of battle against the likes of Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City and Everton, and you always used to see those kind of football kits being worn in our city when really you wanted to see the Chester kits being worn. But now it seems that the trend is reversing, and you see kids all around the city wearing a blue and white striped shirt, which is the Chester shirt, and it's really pleasing to see. So it is a success story, but we're only part way there at the moment. We obviously want to get back to where Chester City ended, which was in the conference, but ultimately we want to get back to our Football League days again, and that's where the 10-year plan comes in.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you've had the success, but it still has to keep going. It's not something that you obviously you sit on or are satisfied. But along the way, these are great stories, especially about the children. And I'm glad you mentioned the other clubs that you're competing against for the gate and for the attention. So that's fantastic. And but so the stadium, is it still called the Diva Stadium, Deva?
It's actually called the Exacta Stadium. That was renamed in a sponsorship deal. It was the Diva Stadium since 1992 when it was built. But to Chester fans, it will always be the Diva Stadium, Diva being the Roman name for Chester. And on we retain quite a lot of the history around the former club. In fact, we retained all the history with the former club. On the club badge is actually a wolf, which represents the city of Chester on the badge. But also, we've kept hold of the 126 years now of football in Chester as well. And that's what we were able to do because we reformed the club straight away. As soon as Chester City went under, we reformed the club, and because of that we were able to take our history forward. What we always see as well is former players from years gone by actually supporting Chester Football Club right now. So it's great that we can take them through into the future as well. There's a lot of support behind Chester, and a lot of people, now coming out, from years gone by. People may have stopped going for various reasons, but you see a lot of people returning now, to the matches, which is really great. And obviously they're bringing the kids as well, which are the fans of the future.
That's excellent. I guess the other thing I wanted to mention, one of the first things that I had heard about the stadium was that the pitch is in Wales, but the entrance is in the UK. Is that correct? Or
yes, well, sort of. Yeah, the entrance to the club and the club offices are actually in England. But as soon as you go through onto the pitch is in Wales. As the border of England and Wales goes straight through our football ground. So it is probably quite unique in that respect. It's amazing you can be sort of talking about going into the match in England, but then you might be watching it from Wales. So yeah, I think we're the only club around that has that kind of unique ground anyway.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. Jeff, I don't have anything else to ask you. Maybe if you want to talk about a player that we can watch out for, and then anything else you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, as far as players are concerned, I don't want to give too much away before the big match.
No, believe me, I totally understand it, and
there is one. We've got a great team. It's difficult to gauge us against any conference teams at the moment because you'll be the first that will have played in true competition. But we have always shown, a good style of play and some gritty performances against teams that are a little bit higher than us. But one of our stars from last season is Michael Wilde, who's a striker. He became the Evo Stick League's highest scorer last season, winning the Golden Boot for that league. He scored, I think it was about 37 goals last season. He's just coming back now from an injury, so it's been a gradual return. But we've also got we've got good players throughout, I would say. They'll all do a good job against Ebbsfleet, I'm sure. It's a long way. I'm sure the lads will be preparing right. I think the manager is looking to take them down for an overnight stay, which will put them in good form, hopefully. And I think they've had a couple of those already and have had good results off the back of them. So we're all ready. And I think there was some of the Ebbsfleet supporters maybe thinking that there's a bit of revenge in the air because of the fact that Chester's final match against Ebbsfleet, those points were expunged following the club going into liquidation. But what needs to be remembered is the supporters of Chester Football Club have been through a traumatic experience, I think it's fair to say, in sort of witnessing the club going bust and then having to restart it in such a short space of time. A lot of hard work has gone into bringing Chester FC about. And, we're a great set of fans, and I'm sure that will show on the day of the game as well. But, we've got every respect for Ebbsfleet, and I think that the feeling will be mutual at the end of the match, whatever the result. But for us, hopefully, it's a Chester win.
Sure. No, I agree. Definitely the feeling will be will be mutual, and when we were relegated, it also in a way it helped us. It rallied the fans, and we came right back up. So it wasn't as devastating for us either. I would say, my opinion. But all right, well, Jeff, I'm looking forward to the game, January 14th, I believe it is. And good luck to you and Chester on your way back up the pyramid.
Well, hopefully we'll be playing against you in the conference in not too long. I think a couple of seasons maybe if we can do it that quick.
All right. Good luck to you, and thank you again.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks a lot, Jeff. I enjoyed hearing about the enthusiastic crowds attending the matches and about all those kids wearing the Chester kit. That's something to aim for at Ebbsfleet as well, though not having our kids wearing the Chester kit. It's a bit of an understatement to say that these are busy and hectic days at the club, doing well on the field and not so well off the field. I don't have much to add at this moment. I just want to give a special thanks to Kim Tak for reviving that dormant pledge from last year. We got over 100 people to pledge, and so now it's time to pay up. Thank you, Kim Tak, for taking the reins on that and pulling us through. A little news about the ladies team. They're doing well. They're currently 5th out of 11 teams, but they are clearly ensconced in that middle group. As the table, you pretty much have 3 levels: the top 3 or 4, then there's a middle group separated by a few points, and then the bottom 3. Sunday, the ladies played Gillingham in the Kent Cup semis, so good luck to the ladies. Well, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully, I won't have to wait 7 or 8 months to get back on the horse here and put out another podcast. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, here are the websites: myfootballclub.co.uk, ebbsfleetunited.co.uk, on Facebook at facebook.com/myfootballclub, and on Twitter at twitter.com/myfootballclub. Believe and support the squad. Until next time, this is your humble narrator signing off. Up the Fleet.
Nobody can deny that there's something MYFC.